A very warm greetings to you all. Welcome to another Asian Productivity Organization Talk. I am Isimeli Wembuta Tangida Kiberata, Director, National Training and Productivity Center, Fiji National University, and APO Alternate Director for Fiji. Today, we will discuss the important topic of inclusive productivity through agricultural cooperatives by examining the advantages and key success factors of agricultural cooperatives. We will also hear how the Amul model of India, particularly the unique product pricing and milk producers and consumers linkage mechanism, helped India emerge as the world's largest milk producer, and how the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation Limited, known as Amul, became one of the top agricultural cooperatives in the country. Today, our guest speaker is Dr. R.S. Sodhi, Managing Director of Amul. Hello, Dr. Sodhi, and thank you for joining us. How are you today?
Fine. Thank you, Dr. Ismaili. Thank you, Asian Productivity Organization, all the Secretariat and all the members. And we are very, very happy and keen to talk to your members.
Dr. Sodhi has around 4 decades of rich experience in leading and developing the cooperative sector within the Indian dairy industry, having served dairy farmers in several capacities. Dr. Sodhi took over as Managing Director of Amul in 2010 and was responsible for creating its current structure, enabling the organization to maintain and enhance its leadership status within the Indian dairy industry. Dr. Sodhi has received many awards and citations from different organizations around the world and the Indian government for his contributions to the dairy industry. He is also a 2021 APO Regional Award recipient. Amul currently ranks 9th among the world's largest milk processors. Just 10 years ago in 2011, Amul was ranked 18th in the list of top global dairy organizations. We are excited to hear about the progress of Amul and insights into its success. Let's have a look at a video of Amul and Dr. Sodhi's engagement.
Amul. The year 1946. Gujarat, the seat of an epic struggle. The air is rife with a cry for liberation. A revolution is in the making. A young man reared in the Gandhian tradition is in the thick of a nationalist movement, organizing farmers.
यहीं से शुरू हुआ इतिहास। वो देख चला आ रहा है। हाँ, अपनो त्रिभुवन भाई पटेल लेके किसानों की फरियाद जा रहा वल्लभ भाई पटेल के पास।
इसका तो एक ही रास्ता है त्रिभुवन। ओल्सन ने काढ़ी को। डेयरी तुम्हारी अपनी होनी चाहिए, तुम लोगों की अपनी कोऑपरेटिव डेयरी, ताकि मुनाफा बिचौलियों की जेब के बदले तुम्हारी जेब तक पहुंचे।
Born out of a dream for the economic liberation of the farmers, the protest movement gained strength and matured into a mass movement. The battle lines were drawn, the mighty British Empire against a handful of farmers.
तुम सब लोग भी अच्छी तरह से सोच लो। अगर तुम लोग जोखिम और नुकसान उठाने के लिए तैयार हो, तो मैं तुम्हारा साथ देने के लिए तैयार हूँ।
वल्लभ भाई, रोज के मरने से एक दिन का मरना बेहतर।
This revolutionary idea brought under its fold visionaries like Sardar Patel, the Iron Man of India. The dawn of freedom from domination, doubt and debt. A story of struggle embraced and fate made fortunate. Because Amul didn't just survive, it thrived. Today, millions of farmers have joined the revolution and transformed their destinies. Every community, each creed, all castes are a part of this river of milk, rallying to make India the world's largest milk producer. Today, like every day, they get their milk tested for quantity, fat content and freshness. The milk is then quickly chilled to prevent spoilage and transported in the wink of an eye to Amul's high-tech dairies. Hidden amidst these state-of-the-art plants is a tiny shed that was once the nerve center of Amul. Home to the legendary Dr. Varghese Kurian, it was here that the Amul movement was guided by this visionary who believed in the power of the people, who shaped the destiny of a fledgling farmers' movement. So significant were his achievements that he is considered the milkman of India, and his birthday's been declared the National Milk Day.
Co-ops to a fellow like me is a matter of faith. It is almost a religion. And unless you have faith, certain things cannot be done.
Farmers' movement to a global company. Thanks to GCMMF, India's largest food products marketing organization, farmers are key to Amul. Not just owners, but decision makers. They're part of an innovative 3-tier organizational structure called the Anand Pattern.
Dr. Soni, at this point, please share your insights on the importance of agricultural cooperatives, their success factors, and the story of the dairy sector in India. The screen is yours.
Dr. Ismaili, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all the participants. I don't know from where all everybody will be joining. So now I'm going to share my presentation. And basically, if you see, I've been talking about the inclusive productivity through agriculture cooperative. I mean, while I'll be sharing my last 40 years experience working with India's biggest milk cooperative, that is Amul, where 3.6 million farmers are the member, I'm going to tell how due to this supply chain productivity efficiency, the benefits are shared by the various supply chain members, right from farmers to the consumer. And this cooperative, which is today 75 years old, and also today India's biggest food or FMCG company. And it is not only exists, but its growth rate of Amul of every decade is higher than the previous decade. And please, this organization is owned by the farmers. So I'm going to share my experiences that how these supply chain productivity efficiencies, how we have achieved it, how it is benefiting mainly the members. So if let us talk, because I'm going to talk about dairy sector. So let's first start with the world dairy scenario. See, world dairy is one of the biggest source of income for the small people across the world. Today it is more than $600 billion per annum, giving mainly and mainly to smallholders. Out of the total production 850, 65% is contributed by very small scale dairy farmers, especially in the Asian countries. And as per the FAO, to produce 100 liters of 100 liters of milk, 4 to 17 jobs are created, and especially the women across the world are involved in this. Now let us talk about India. India, is a country of 1.38 billion people, and out of that 68 to 70% people reside in the rural India or in the villages. In today dairy industry, there are around 300 million cattle and buffalo. Out of that 100 million are buffalo and 200 millions are the cows. But milk, 55% milk is coming from the buffalo, only 46% is from the, and 100 million families are dependent fully or partially on the income of milk to meet their day-to-day expenses. And out of this 100 million, you see, there will be around 70% are landless. And when you collection of milk, aggregation of milk, it is done without any gender bias or caste, religion or anything. And a lot of farmers are being educated, various community development activities also. And we are fortunate that India dairy industry is growing at the rate of 8 to 10% per annum, and simply because around 2% population increase and remaining consumption is increasing because people are upgrading themselves more for the, instead of carbohydrate, cereal based diet to the fat and protein rich diet. And we know a glass of milk is fulfills 76% of calcium, phosphorus, vitamin. On an average, 1/3 of the daily food requirement in India across all the 3 meals is met through milk and milk products. In dairy industry, if I have to describe in one word what is dairy industry supply chain, I can say it's a 3S model. Produced by 100 million small producers, sold by millions of small retailers, and consumed by 1.38 billion small consumers. So small. And 100 million families were dependent. And only way we are different in all over the world, whatever consumer pay, 75 to 80% money goes back to the farmers. And there are 1.35. And all over India, there are 120 million liter capacity in the organized sector. I'll tell later on, besides the cattle feed and the semen for the artificial insemination. When I want to talk, let us see the success. See the graph at 1971. Our milk productions were stagnating around 20 million metric ton, which was 1/3 of USA and 1/8 of whole of Europe milk production. And our population was growing, and we were importing all the dairy and milk product like other Asian countries. At that time, the policymakers, the political leadership, and farmers decided that we have to become the self-sufficient. And that time, we followed the Amul model across India. You can see what is today. Today, our milk production is 198 million metric ton, which is double than the USA and 25% more than the whole of Europe, and that too with 20% or 25% more of milk served. How we achieved it, how we are able to maintain our growth, you will come to know with remaining. And this is also a difference. The reason for Amul's success or Indian dairy success is this slide. It is in India, farmers get 70 to 80% of what consumer pay, and you can see in all other countries, farmers get 35 to 40 or maximum 45%. More the dairy rich country, farmers share reduces. And we are different is that in our country is this small farmers, like most of the Southeast countries. Each farmer is having 2 cows or buffalo, vis-a-vis the large farms in the other dairy rich countries. But we were not like this till 40s. India got independence in 1947. In 40s, we were dependent on imports, and which continued till 1970s. Like most of the other Asian countries where they are dependent on imports of dairy products, and middlemen was taking a lot of money and farmers were not getting good price, so they were not increasing the production, and there were quality and hygiene issue. And that time in 1946, this picture is very, very important. You can see that at the top is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was fighting that time India's freedom struggle. At that time, some farmers approached under the leadership of Tribhuvandas Patel. You can see the right side, the below picture. Okay, he along with the farmers went to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel that we are being exploited by the middleman. And that time, he was guided that if you want best price for your produce, you should not only produce it, you should aggregate it, you should process it, add value, and market it under your own brand. Then only you're going to get the best price for your produce. And in 1949, you can see he was joined by the best of the professional Dr. Verghese Kurian, who had returned from Michigan State University after completion of his master's. He joined, and he was the professionals who made India what we are today. Amul model and technology, marketing, he is the person, Dr. Verghese Kurian. And if you see what Amul model is there, which has made India not only self-sufficient, but world largest producer is basically, you see, bottom of the milk model, we call it 3-tier model. At any village, there are around 200 farmers having 2 or 3 cows or buffalo. They make a village cooperative society where milk is coming, milk is procured based on the quality and quantity, and payment is made to their account digitally. Then there are the district union. District union job is to collect this milk from, on an average, 1,000 village cooperative societies, process it, pack it under a common brand Amul, and then this finished product is marketed throughout India and abroad by the State Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, which is having Amul brand ownership. And then these products are distributed or marketing across India to 1.38 billion people, whereas all types of milk products, which I'll show you later. So you can say by eliminating the middleman, whatever consumer is paying going to the farmers, because this whole supply chain of Amul model is owned by the farmers and they control it. Elected body of farmers at the village level, district level, or state level is controlling. No government does not have a single penny equity, no private, no corporate, no multinational. It is owned by, like in case of Amul, 3.6 million farmers own this whole supply chain. And they are supported by the professional. They hire the best of the professional from the best of the management institute or for technology or the veterinary services. And they are paying reasonably good salaries also. That is why they are able to. And last 75 years, this model is working. And once this model was successful in 1946 to 70s, under Operation Flood, this model was replicated across India. And like I showed in the first graph, and from 70s to 96, when Amul model was replicated, India became #1 in milk production as well as self-sufficient. And this model was very simple. In each village, where a team was sent, a veterinarian extension worker with the agriculture background, where they were forming cooperatives or Amul model, collecting milk and giving it to the district union. And milk processing infrastructure were built at the district level. And you can see when left hand side is the Gujarat, where Amul is there, 3.6 million farmers in 18,565 villages and 18 district union. And the state is Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation. And same model was replicated across India, 17 million farmers and 190,000 village cooperative society and 235 district union, and there are 28 state federations having their own brand name. And you can see when farmers is pouring the milk at the bottom, and after adding value, when it is marketed to the consumer in the market, whatever money is realized, it is going back to the farmers. Besides the money, lot of other programs like cattle feed, rural health scheme, veterinary services is also given to the all the members through district union. And end of the year, they also get bonus or additional price difference or also the dividend. Because but each farmer is having only one share, mind it. Even if you have got 50 cows of buffalo or you have got 2 cows, you will have the share ownership of the Amul. And you can see when this model was replicated, how in 1973, where per capita consumption was 111 gram per person per day, and with the replication of model, in spite of population multiplied by 2.5 times, today our per capita availability is more than 400 gram per person per day. And this all has happened because of replication of very successful cooperative Amul model. And this is what is today. India is 21% of world milk production with 190 million metric ton out of 850 million metric ton produced by all over world. Out of that, only 70% is surplus, because 30% is consumed by the farmers himself or his family. And out of that 70% surplus, organized sector is getting only 26%. So that is the opportunity organized sector has got. And out of the total organized sector of 37 million metric ton, Amul is procuring around 26% of the organized sector. And please, Amul is mainly operating only in one state of India. We have gone to other states recently, but it is mainly one state of India. If I talk about Amul scale of operation, we had handled last year around 25 million liters of milk per day from 3.6 million farmers. On an average, 2.7 or 2.8 million farmers are poorer, because if you have one cow or buffalo, sometimes it is in dry stage also. We are the largest, 8th largest dairy company in the world with the annual turnover of $7.2 billion last year and growing every year at the rate of 12 to 13%. If you ask me what is the reason for the success of Amul or Amul Cooperative, this is the reason. Philosophy, value for many and value for money. When I say value for money is providing very, very stable and remunerative price to farmers day after day. So they're encouraged to invest. They know that if I'm buying cow today, tomorrow when I'm going to produce milk, price of milk will not reduce. If I produce more milk during winter, I'm to get slightly more, not less price. And the other side, providing all types of dairy products to 1.38 billion people, best quality products, using best ingredients, best packaging, latest technology, but at affordable price. So basically, if you see, Amul or cooperatives is following a model of give more to earn more. Give more to farmers, better price. Give more to the consumer, whatever price they are paying. And definitely, if these two main stakeholders are with you, especially in case of agriculture produce, your business is going to grow and everybody will be happy. This just shows in India, farmers get 71 to 75% of the consumer money. In most of the dairy-rich countries, farmers get only 30, 36 or 40%. If you compare it with 30 years back, farmers in New Zealand, Australia, Europe were getting around 50%. Day by day, their share is reducing, but the middleman, means retailers or processors, are earning more. This is one slide which shows inside how farmers are coming to give milk. You can see the modern technology, computerized system is there. Around 35% women are the participant. Although milk production at home is by women, but membership more than 35% is today's women. And there are thousands of village cooperative societies fully managed by the women. Besides milk, which collect, farmers, cattle and buffaloes also provided animal treatment or veterinary service. Every year, about 6.5 million animals are treated. More than 1,200 veterinaries are moving village to village. Just you have to send a message on the app, within 1 or 2 hours, veterinary will come, and at a nominal cost. So vaccination, animal deworming, all is done by the district union for the farmers. And every day, 90 to 20 million dollars are deposited in the farmer's account, and they can withdraw from anywhere. It is all digitally connected system. And app-based is a local language where farmer can see in the app how much milk she has given, how much money has come to her account vis-a-vis last year, and also a lot of other data. So basically, besides this, reason for Amul growth has been that we have been innovating every year, every month, or every day. You can see in 60s, 70s, there were major products like baby food or clarified butter or butter or cheese. We kept on adding lot of other products so that any new need or any nutritional need, new generation need is met by this Amul cooperative. And whatever latest in packaging or product is taken from anywhere in the world, every month we launch 2 new products. You can see under last 6 years, more than 150 products have been launched. And this supply chain is fully integrated through the latest IT system. SAP is there, where each village society up to the distributor level, and from society to the farmer, we have got automatic milk collection system. And for distribution of a product to more than 1 million retail outlets, we have got distribution management system. You can see the number of transactions. Every day, milk collection from 7.2 million farmers, and then sending all fresh product and dairy products to about more than 1 million retail outlets. Whole system integrated through the best of the information technology system. And the supply chain, you can see, is simple. We manage 4 types distribution highway. One is the frozen for ice cream. Second is chilled for butter and cheese. Ambient at room temperature. And most difficult is the fresh product distribution highway. We are connecting 1 million outlets with about more than 84 dairy plants through 73 sales offices, 10,000 distributors, and 1 million retailers. And we have got across all over India sales offices, dealers and retailers, and also about 55 countries world over we are exporting. But one thing is there, Amul is following only umbrella branding strategy. Everything is sold under one brand, which is Amul. A reason is simple. If you got one child, you need to invest less. So our advertising budgets are also have been less than the most of the other brands. Just a minute. 1 minute. So 1% of our turnover is spent on advertising, which is 5 to 12% by the most of the other food companies. So in short, if I have to see what is the reason for the success of Amul even after 75 years, one is the leadership. We were lucky to have very selfless and dedicated political leadership, Tirumudas Patel, you said, and also very committed professional leadership, Dr. Varghese Kurian, who came from Michigan State University to work in this small farmers cooperative, and he stayed in this place, which was a village, till end of his career. He worked for 60 years. And second is in philosophy, value for many, value for money. Third is consistency in our philosophy, consistent product recipe, consistent communication, and consistency in our manpower or human resources. Most of my team members are on their first job. Like I am with this Amul for 40 years, so are my other colleagues who are there on the first job working with Amul. And also very, very dedicated. When I say dedicated supply chain, but very, very efficient supply chain. Because reason for efficient supply chain is because of scale, and whatever efficiency benefits are passed on the farmers. And no doubt, technology adoption, innovation is very, very essential when you are dealing with the consumer, when you are dealing with the farmers to pass on the benefit. So what are the future challenges? What Amul is, one is India is the productivity is very low because we follow a model of low input, low output. So we can't afford having more cattle of buffalo. We have to see how to increase the milk production by better breeding and better feeding practice. Its second challenge, which all over world, all countries, all farmers are facing, is next generation of farmers is not interested in farming or milk production because they don't find it glamorous. Farmers' son or daughter, they don't want to go to the nearest city and work there, working on the laptop instead of milking cows or buffalo. And the third challenge is how to get those type of selfless, dedicated political leadership as well as the professionals to work in the corporate because nobody wants to work any professional to corporate. They want to work in the multinational corporate, not in the corporate. So how to make cooperative job also glamorous? How to attract political leadership from the ground level to the this, and that is the only. And no doubt, free trade agreement in India because India is the world largest market, fastest growing market. So people from all over the world want to come, and at zero duty they want India to import. But government of India's help in India does not allow import of dairy or agriculture product under zero duty. They are protecting Indian farmers to increase the production, and that is the reason for India is self-sufficient. And last one, I think all over is plant-based milk lookalikes or plant-based beverages, which is neither plant-based, not tasty. I mean, they are factory manufactured, chemically produced, and chemically fortified, very expensive lookalikes of milk. And because of their aggressive marketing, because of more margin, that is also a threat. So these are the future challenges which we are facing, and definitely we are working on it. So finally, I'd like to give a quote of our founder chairman, Dr. Varghese Kurian. We have traversed a path few have dared to. We are continuing on a path still few have the courage to follow. We must pursue the path that even fewer can dream to pursue. Yet we must, because we hold in trust the aims and aspiration of millions of our countrymen. And also, I'd like to thank the APO for recognizing Amul for giving this productivity award. And it is a very, very prestigious, and we are very, very thankful to you. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your excellent and insightful presentation, Dr. Sodhi. I'm sure that many of our viewers have questions for you. So on behalf of all our viewers, I shall ask some questions about your presentation.
Yeah, definitely. Please, please.
So moving on, my first question for you, Dr. Sodhi, has two parts. What do you think was the major factor that helped Amul become one of the top cooperatives in India? And which strategies were the most important?
Well, I think the reasons which I'm going to tell are applicable to any farmers cooperative or small producer FPO where they want to come aggregate their resources so that they can market it and they can get the benefit. The first is leadership, like I mentioned, because it is a small people. So you need very, very selfless, dedicated political leadership who can come forward and form the cooperatives. You can't, it cannot be top-down approach. It has to be bottom-up approach. For that, you need ground level leadership. Second is no compromise on technology. You have to go for the latest technology, being in processing or packaging or storage, etc. Third is basically, and very, very important, is marketing. Amul started marketing or advertising product in 1950 when no Indian brand used to market. So marketing is the only area where most of the agriculture farmers cooperative don't put that much emphasis. So branding and marketing, hiring best advertising agencies, best professional to market the product, that is also very, very important.
Thank you for that coherent response, and I'm sure that there are many viewers who are able to identify with and adapt similar strategies that so that they can achieve similar results that you talked about. And I particularly appreciate the key points that you've made, Dr. Sori, about leadership and marketing. So the next question that I have for you is, how did you attract dairy farmers to join your cooperative group?
Well, Dr. Ismaili, why a farmer should join any cooperative is simple. Farmers wants to join a cooperative where he is assured that whatever produce or service he is offering, he is going to get very, very stable and remunerative price day after day. So whatever you say, if you cannot offer a very stable and remunerative price, farmer will not continue. And that is the one area where we are Amul ensured the farmer gets the best price vis-a-vis anybody else or any private. So one reason. And also to communicate and also to tell them benefits of cooperative, regular educating the cooperatives at the ground level people. That is very interesting. So providing stable and remunerative price and educating farmers about the benefit of cooperative. These are the two things which we are doing it. And that is the reason for the growth of more members. And not only new members, farmers continue. Now today, third generation farmers is with us. So it is because of they have been getting very stable and remunerative price and they are growing.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Sodi, for that interesting approach and the logic you were able to share, especially about convincing farmers about the prices, and of course the key point about educating farmers about the benefits. Thank you for that. My third question for you is, what are some of the challenges Amul faced in his journey?
Well, I can tell you, I mean, any farmers cooperative, there will be challenges whenever it is formed. In 1946, when Amul was formed, they were growing till 1948. Reason, but they suddenly found that they are not able to process the milk and milk was getting cut down. At that time, Tribhuvandas Patel could attract Dr. Korean, a professional, to work in a small cooperative. So first was the how to attract professionals, and that to best of the professionals. Second was technology. India was during those are mainly buffalo was the main milk. So there was no technology available world over to process buffalo milk, making milk powder out of buffalo milk, making cheese. So that was the how to improve or innovate technology so that buffalo milk can be handled. And later on, the third is when I can say is that how the lot of pressure of import of dairy products, how to face that. RCEP was there. So Amul has been always forefront in advocating, lobbying with the government and policy makers that India has to continue to be self-sufficient, and for that we have to discourage imports. in spite of lot of other lucrative offers given to the policy makers by the various state governments, whether jobs or visas or this help or that. I mean, let me tell you, most of the Asian countries have gone into this trap of free trade agreement in agriculture produce or in the milk, and they are suffering. So I think right from day one, whatever challenges came, farmers of Amul have faced it, and we have got a very good support from policymakers as well as the political leadership.
Thank you, Dr. Sodhi, for sharing this. And I quite agree that such challenges often arise, such as technology, import issues, and lobbying. But I think that is also maybe a contributor to your strategic thinking and innovation. Thank you. My next question, Dr. Sodhi, is: do other organizations in India follow Amul's unique product pricing policy?
Definitely. Reason is simple. Amul is the market leader. I mean, in case of butter, we have got more than 96% market share. In case of cheese, more than 70%. In ice cream, also more than 45%. So we are the market leaders. So we set the pricing. And what happens is, our pricing policy is we pay highest price to the farmers and very, very affordable price to the consumer. So all other players have to see that they also buy milk at our price and they also sell the finished product at more or less same price. So in between margin available is very, very reasonable, or I can say low. So that is the reason of very, very efficient supply chain work in India for milk, not only for Amul or other corporations and private. And that is the reason for the success of dairy industry in India, because farmers are also happy getting good price, consumers are also happy getting very good product at reasonable price, and whole industry is growing, and farmers are getting the benefit.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sodhi, for that very meaningful discussion about the efficient supply chain leading to the pricing. So my next question would be: what is the key factor in maintaining consumers' loyalty to Amul's products?
It's a very, very important question, especially for the food or for the farmers' cooperative. You see, loyalty is one thing where you are loyal to one brand or other brand. You can travel by Emirates also, you can travel by the Air Canada also, you can travel by Singapore Airlines. I mean, you are loyal. But anybody. But more than loyalty is the faith, and faith also blind faith, like you have got in religion. So what Amul we are doing is how to get the blind faith of consumer, where she will not look left or right, she will not ask any question, and she'll go to a shop and buy our product. And that does not come with the advertising or anything. That comes with your decades of your experience, where you feel that this brand has never cheated me. This brand has always given me best value for my hard-earned money. This brand is giving me very, very natural ingredients. This brand is not giving big pack and reducing the content in it. So I think anything we do consumer centric, we always think that consumer is smarter than you. You cannot shortchange consumer. So that is the reason that today consumer have got blind faith, like we have got in our religion. And today third generation consumer are with Amul. That is only like religion.
Thank you for that, Dr. Sodhi. I really like the key point about blind faith and confidence in the branding. Moving on to my next question: what is Amul's sustainability plan during the COVID-19 pandemic, and are there new plans for product diversification post-COVID?
Dr. Ismaili, one thing is that during COVID, when everything stopped, it was only the milk or agriculture supply chain which did not stop. One side it provided nutritious food to the million or billions of the consumer across the world. The other side also, it is a very, very dependable source of livelihood. So for not a single minute, the Amul supply chain stopped. Sustainability, yes, definitely. We are working lot of sustainability initiative right from milk production, where we are using the cow dung or for producing biogas and the biofertilizer, and also planting tree. I mean, every year we in our villages we want millions. About every year around 7 to 8 million trees are being planted by us, and also most of the whatever energy efficiency things we are trying to do it. But diversification is what we have seen is during COVID is people have shifted very, very big way from loose or unbranded products to packed and branded, and also more nutritious food, more protein and fat rich food. So what we are, and but that too in the smaller places. So what diversification we are doing is we are getting into the small places with the smaller packing products. See, big metros were consuming, but demand started coming from small cities, and their affordability was low. So you need to pack products in this small. Besides that, the immunity boosting products, lot of immunity boosting milk and other products were also launched during this COVID, and I think it will continue. And also, we try to propagate it how milk is best immunity booster product.
Very interesting, Dr. Sodhi. Unfortunately, due to time limitations, I have only one last question for you. Can you tell us about Amul's future collaboration plans and outreach to the Asia Pacific region?
Well, Dr. Ismaili, Amul is the best model when any country, especially Asian countries, where you want to provide employment in the rural side. And we are very happy, we'll be very happy to share our experience, our knowledge, our facilities for propagating this model of cooperatives in any Asian countries. So, and no doubt, let me tell you, this is not a model which can come from outside. I mean, I cannot go in Asian countries and form this thing. No. Their leaders, their farmers are doing. What we can do is sharing our knowledge, like what we did in India. Amul started from one part of India, and it was replicated all over India by the policymakers. So any country's policymaker can replicate this Amul model in their country. And it is not only in milk, any other agriculture commodity where small producers are there, a small service provider there, they can aggregate, add value, and market their product. So we welcome. But no doubt, Amul is also exporting our products to all countries. But that is not the purpose. India is the biggest market, and our focus in India. But Amul is the best model for small agriculture producers anywhere in the world, especially in the Asian countries and also African countries.
Thank you, Dr. Sodhi. That clear, succinct response brings good closure to the question and answer session. Thank you to all the viewers for joining this APO Productivity APO Top Talk. Unfortunately, this session has come to an end. Thank you so much, Dr. Sodhi, for being for gracing this discussion today and sharing your vast experience and insights with us. We hope that all audience today will also be able to tune into upcoming APO Top Talks. Thank you all and see you again.
Thank you, Dr. Ismaili. Thank you, APO Secretariat, all the members. Thank you very much.